Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today I've got a story time that was sent in to me by a subscriber about an insane situation that went down in their college class, which is a little bit different. You know, usually by the time people get to college, you expect them to have it together. But I guess some dude in his class ended up getting in a fight with his professor. So, yeah, I figured you guys would enjoy it. And I also would just recommend not throwing hands with your professor. College is expensive, and I feel like expulsion is even more expensive. Either way, it's definitely still a better fight than whatever Jake Paul's doing next, so I figured I would share it with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so this takes place in this dude's first college English class, and whenever you're doing like your core classes at college, you know, English, basic level math, all that, the class sizes are absolutely massive. Like once you're into your more specialized classes, it's different, but they will definitely cram like as many people possible into a beginner English class in college. For example, this dude's class had like well over 150 students, you know, and if you consider the fact that this is definitely not the English teacher's only class, it's super possible that the professor in this class had well over like 1,000 students total. And obviously, if you have 1,000 students, there's just no way that you're going to be able to like memorize all of them, know all their names, remember all their faces. It's just unrealistic. That's a crap ton of people for this teacher supposedly to like learn everything about in one sweep. Anyways, about 2 months into class, it's a pretty normal lesson. The teacher is just kind of at the bottom of the auditorium doing what he's got to do, teaching them about English, when some dude just kind of stands up. And the dude was seated in the middle of the auditorium, so he's just kind of standing there, and at first everyone just kind of tries to ignore him. Even the teacher just goes about teaching the lesson, being like, you know, maybe he's got to stretch his legs or something. I don't know what's going on, but the dude is standing there for about 5 minutes straight. And it gets to the point where even the teacher can't ignore it, and he's like, hey, can I ask you what's going on? You've been standing for a while in the middle of class. Like, is there an issue? You know, what's going on? And the guy is like, I have a question about an assignment that I had turned in earlier. Can I ask you about it? And obviously, the teacher is a little bit confused because it's like literally the middle of class and he's in the middle of teaching. So he looks at the guy and he's like, yeah, of course you can ask a question, but can you just please wait until the end of class? Like, it's just not really the time to do this right now. So if you can wait till the end of class, I'll help you, but I'd appreciate it if you just like sat down. And the guy, for whatever reason, is really offended by being told to sit down and wait till the end of class, because he's like, no, I won't wait till the end of class. I want to take care of it now. And I'm just not understanding what could have possibly been going through this dude's head, because like it's just very obviously not the time to do this. It's the middle of class. He's in the middle of teaching, so you're gonna stand up right now, demand he answer your question, interrupt everyone else's class time, cut your class short, when he's saying he's willing to help you if you just wait till the end of class. Like, now you're just gonna go out of your way to piss off everybody, but whatever, that's what he goes with. And so the teacher stares at him for a second and then asks him a pretty good question, you know? He says, is it really more important for me to answer and deal with your question right now than it is to keep teaching the other 162 students in class what they're paying me to teach them? Like, listen, man, even if you think your assignment's the most important one in the planet, there's like 160 other people in this class that are also paying this dude the same amount of money, and I'm sure they don't want to spend their class time listening to him help you with your problems. And I think it's a pretty fair question, you know. I just don't understand what he's thinking. There's no issue with asking about the assignment, right? I get it. You gotta ask questions if you don't understand it. If you have questions, do what you gotta do. But there's a time and a place to ask questions, and right in the middle of class is definitely not the time or the place. But the dude is still just standing there and just like not really saying anything, and he goes, no, it's not that it's more important than everyone else in class. I just want it to be taken care of now. And obviously at this point, the teacher is starting to get annoyed. Like, he's tried to calmly explain why this can't be taken care of right now, so he just kind of snaps at the guy and says, dude, seriously, just wait until the end of class. Which, listen, I don't think that's that bad, even if that's considered snapping. Just saying like, dude, please wait till the end of class, in my opinion, is pretty normal. It's what I would have said in this situation. But you would have thought that this professor just called this dude a tube sock full of poop based on his reaction to being told, dude, just wait till the end of class. class. He starts screaming that, he better be addressed by his name. He doesn't want to be disrespected by being called dude, which I didn't realize dude was like an insanely disrespectful thing to call someone. Maybe it's just because, I talk like an idiot or something, but I thought it was perfectly okay to call somebody dude. I didn't think saying dude wait until the end of class was like mean. If anything, I feel like it's a nice thing to say. He could be like, yo moron, please shut up, but no, he said dude, just wait till the end of class. Anyways, the professor at that point laughs a little bit about just how absurd this entire situation was and said that he didn't know the guy's name even if he wanted to call him by his name. Which, once again, is probably just a true fact. I mean, it's 2 months into class. This dude's probably got like well over 1,000 students. There's 160 other people in your class. He probably doesn't know your name, and I don't think that's like a disrespectful thing. I don't think that's him trying to poop on your parade. Let's just be honest. If you had 1,000 students every year, eventually you'd probably stop learning all their names, because what? You're just going to learn another 1,000 names in 6 months anyways. But now the dude is just freaking out about the fact that the teacher admitted he doesn't know his name, and he starts going off about how obviously he's a horrible educator if he's not even going to take the time to learn all of his students' names. And listen, I think that could kind of be an argument if this is like an elementary school teacher, right? Like, you're not going to learn these kids' names. This is a college professor. Does it really matter if he knows your name? Like, as long as you pass the class, you're an adult. Why does it bug you so much that he doesn't know your name? Just pass the class. Like I said, the guy has 1,000 students. Him not knowing your name isn't like a personal insult. He's not saying you're irrelevant and not worth knowing. He's just saying that he doesn't know everyone's name because there's a lot of people. And so the professor, still trying to like de-escalate the situation, kind of explains that, I have a ton of students, I can't remember everyone's name, and if that's really gonna bug you so much that you're gonna start screaming in my classroom, I think it's best that you just leave the class. Which, honestly, I think it's fair at this point. Usually I'm not pro like kicking people out of class, but if the dude's just not going to accept that he needs to wait until the end of class and keep arguing with you and wasting everyone's time, kicking him out at that point is fair. I mean, think about it. He interrupted the entire class, is yelling over nothing, freaking out that this dude doesn't know his name. At that point, it's probably better that he's just not in the class, at least for the rest of today, because now he's just affecting everyone's class. And college ain't cheap, bro. Like, if I was one of the 162 people in here, I'd be like, listen, man, I paid the same amount of money that you did, and I don't care that he doesn't know my name. I just want to pass and get out of here. Obviously, he doesn't like that very much, and he starts arguing back again with the teacher, saying that he's not leaving, and he can just deal with him being here until he, answers his question. And so the teacher at that point just kind of starts trolling him, which, maybe not have been the most mature choice, but it is funny. Who cares? This guy's being worse. And so he just starts kind of like mocking his arguments, well, why don't you know my name? You're unprofessional for not knowing my name. Just kind of messing with him. And obviously the class starts laughing at it because it's pretty funny. Like, this guy's just being a cringe lord for no reason in the middle of class. So obviously if the teacher's making fun of him, you're going to laugh at it. Maybe you're one of the saints that wouldn't have laughed at all because you just think it's unfair. But whatever, you're a better person than I would have laughed, so it is what it is. Anyways, the entire class laughing at him sets him off a little bit, and he starts walking down the stairs of this auditorium towards the teacher. And it's obvious he's pissed because he's got like his fist clenched by his side, and he starts walking over to the professor once he gets to the bottom of the stairs and gets up in his face, and the professor isn't looking scared at all, but he just kind of says, hey man, it looks like you're about to do something you regret. I really wouldn't do that. I would just leave before this gets turned into a bigger deal. And so he's up in his face and he starts yelling about how like, oh, now you don't want to be Mr. Tough Guy making fun of me. Like, I could smack you right now. Not so tough now, are you? Which, like, I also don't think it's tough to be threatening your English teacher. Listen, I think getting up in his face, obviously he's going to try to de-escalate the situation. He's not going to try to make it worse. Oh, not a tough guy now, are you? It's like, no, do you want him to fight you over this, bro? Like, do you want him to start being a tough guy? He's a college professor. That's not really his job. Regardless, once he threatens to smack the professor, now he's the one escalating it, so the teacher isn't looking afraid at all and says, if you're gonna smack me, just know that I'm gonna fight back and you're not gonna like that. And the student kind of takes that as a challenge of like, oh, okay, so go ahead and smack me. So he reaches out and grabs the professor's left arm. And I'm pointing out that he grabbed the left arm only because I'm sure he regrets not grabbing the right, because the teacher, as soon as this guy grabs his left arm, just just lets a nasty right hook fly and just smacks this dude right in the cheek. And the student literally lets go and grabs his face and just goes, "You just hit me. You just hit me." And the professor says, "Yeah, and I'm gonna do it again if you come at me and touch me again. How about you just get out of the class?" Which, listen, man, I don't know what you expected the professor to do. You threaten him and then grab him. Obviously, at that point, he's gonna feel threatened and defend himself. Like, if somebody said, "I'm gonna smack you," and then grabbed me, I'm going to assume the fight is on. I'm not gonna be like, "No, he is peacefully grabbing my left elbow as a sign of peace." No, I'm probably gonna hit you. I don't like violence. I'm gonna try to avoid the fight, right? Like, I'm not saying I'm looking for it, but if someone's up in my face and grabs me, like, what am I supposed to do in that situation? Anyways, now the entire class is yelling at the guy to leave, so he just kind of leaves the classroom with his tail between his legs because nobody was backing him up. And after he leaves, the professor is like, "All right, this is probably gonna turn into an incident, and I understand I probably shouldn't have done that, but if anyone's willing to, like, be a witness and say that I was defending myself, I'd appreciate it." And obviously, all the students are like, "Yeah, of course, dude. He kind of walked up to you and grabbed you and, like, was screaming in class. You had nothing to do with that." And everyone was even more understanding because, like, everyone in college is an adult, right? At that point, by the time you're an adult, you should probably know that it's a bad idea to charge someone, threaten to smack them, and then grab them. Like, that's just a very bad idea. In fact, if anything, I would venture to say that you should probably know that even before you get to college. Like, that's one of those things they probably should have covered by the time you're applying to college. Don't fight anyone, all right? Regardless, sure enough, the student that had gotten hit by the teacher goes to the administration and starts saying that the teacher attacked him out of nowhere, da-da-da-da-da, and obviously the administration has to investigate it. And his entire story was that this teacher had had a mental breakdown in the middle of class and had started attacking him and hit him for no reason. Which, you know, based on the actual events, I'm not sure I would have gone with that story to the administration, considering it's not even close. Like, obviously, he's gonna tell a version of events that makes him look better. He's not gonna be like, "Huh, I sure was stupid, right, guys?" But you can't just make up that the dude had a mental break and smacked you out of nowhere when the entire class saw what actually happened. If anything, I feel like the situation is just this student thinking he's way more important than he is, assuming that the teacher should have A, learned 1,000 names and faces, or B, just his, either one of which is a little ridiculous. Sorry, man, you really can't be offended when people don't know your name. Like, if anything, I feel like it would be even weirder if after 2 months of classes, he knew no one's name but yours. "Ah, yes, my favorite student. I've memorized only your name and face, and I watch you sleep in your dormitory." Like, I would be more weirded out if the professor randomly just knew only my name. Everyone else in class? Nah, just me? Oh yeah. And if you did expect him to learn 1,000 names, you probably got to give him more than like 2 months, bro. I'm just saying, if I had to learn 1,000 names, I need at least 3 months, and even then, I'm still not gonna do it. Anyways, that's his story he's sticking with, and obviously it falls apart pretty quickly once they start looking into it at all, you know, because they start asking the teacher, they ask students in the class what happened, and believe it or not, when there's 160 witnesses that say that they saw something completely different than you did, it doesn't end up going down that well, you know, especially when it's something as serious as saying some teacher attacked you. Like, the guy's gonna get fired if this is true. Obviously, not a lot of people are gonna be down to just roll with it, especially when that's just not even close to what happened, you know. "Oh, you don't understand, he randomly attacked me," leaving out the part where he just stood up in the middle of class and then proceeded to start arguing with the teacher over something the teacher knew nothing about. Conveniently leave that out. And even then, bro, let's say that, like, you know, they bring him in and they start asking him, why is the entire class saying that you started it and grabbed the teacher and that's why he hit you? There's really no explanation. What is he gonna go with? That all 165 people in the class are conspiring against him in one big conspiracy? You know, you've heard of the Kennedy assassination and how many people have shut up on that. How do you not know that everyone in the class is against me right now and the professor's just paying them off so they can join NASA? Like, just going off this crazy list of how everything worked out perfectly for everyone to turn against him at one time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna assume that the professor ended up getting a stern talking to, just because obviously smacking kids is never a good idea. Not that he was actually a kid, but I'm sure they weren't thrilled, but at the same time, like, it is basically self-defense, man. I don't know what you expect him to do. A student walks up to him, threatens him, say he's going to hit him, and then grabs him. Obviously, he's gonna have to, like, defend himself at that point. Regardless, even though there was probably a stern talking to, he didn't end up getting fired because he was still their professor after that. The student, on the other hand, was never seen in that class again, and he never saw him around campus either, the person who sent this in to me. But I'll be honest, after that, I feel like your only option is to transfer. Like, if you lose it in class and a professor smacks you, you gotta just change schools. In fact, if anything, I probably wouldn't even stop at schools. You might as well just go ahead and change states at that point, move to the South, start faking a Southern accent, and deny anything about who you were. One day you're gonna be in a bar, people are gonna start talking about, you know, oh, those college professors sure are pansies or something. And you're gonna be like, well, I tell you what, those college professors sure can pack a punch. One time, one of them knocked me out in one swing. I was so flabbergasted, I had to move down south and fake an accent. Anyways, other than that, the teacher did become a little bit of a legend around that school, but I mean, how could he not be, dude? He one-shotted somebody half his age while wearing a suit. I gotta get the number to this teacher's tailor. He's got some movement in there, you know, being able to swing in a suit isn't easy. Probably went to the same dude that James Bond went to just to make sure that he had the elite protection, but also movement to defend himself. I probably would have just walked up to the dude and started asking him to teach me karate lessons. Regardless, I guess the moral of the story on this one is to, like, not fight your teacher, but I've got a 95% feeling that all of you already knew that, and if you didn't know that, I don't know what to tell you. I don't really think any YouTube video or anyone telling you anything's gonna work out if you think fighting your teacher is still a good idea. But if you did enjoy the video, I would really appreciate you taking 1 second to go ahead and press the like button, comment down below what you thought. If you made it this far into the video, I'd appreciate you commenting the word punch down below. It just helps the video do better, and I'd very much appreciate it. And like I said, smack that like button, baby. Other than that, if you are new, you should go ahead and press the subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you never miss another video. And if you want to be a real G, I do put the audio versions of these up on Spotify, link down below if you want to listen to those. And I went ahead and made a new playlist of some story times that I like from this year, so if you're doing homework or whatever and need a playlist to listen to, the link to that's in the bottom of the description, so feel free to check it out. And yeah, on that note, guys, I think that'll do it for the video. Thank you so much. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see each and every single one of you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.